What's up, Blizzard Nation? Welcome back to Strictly Business, episode 175, presented by Cousin Subs, Edge VR Arcade, and Creative Edge Productions. Cousin Subs, where you can use promo code
GBB Fries
and get, you know it, and we'll introduce you after. Oh my gosh, you can leave before you do your segment.
He doesn't even watch the show.
Where you can get a free fry with a 7.5-inch sub or a sub in a bowl purchase. So thank you to our friends at Cousins.
Thank you, Cousins. And thank you to the people that put on this lovely production.
Yeah. Sean is amazing. Shenanigans. One of these episodes, we'll put Sean on the show.
Oh, can we do that, Sean?
We sure can.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah, there
Maybe
we go.
We'll talk about HVR.
For sure we will. That'd be awesome. You
Excellent.
could follow yourself around with a camera and tour the arcade during an episode. Like, it'd be...
Oh. It could
He's
be us behind the
Who's
scenes.
able to see his face right now? He's like, I hate this idea so much. Well, much like the guy behind the camera, we have another person to introduce you to today in one of the third Tylers that we have on staff.
There's a lot of them.
Yes. Well, welcome to the show.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
What does Tyler do?
I have no idea.
I guess I can explain what I do myself. So my name's Tyler. I am the red hat for the Blizzard. So basically what that means is if you've ever watched like an NFL game or a college football game, those guys with the big orange gloves on, that's what I do. I'm basically the go-between between our promo team that's off the field, the referees that are on the field, and the guys up in the booth. So basically whenever we want to run an on-field promo, it's my job to flag down the referees and get the game stopped so we can do what we need to do.
Yeah, and I had never really seen the orange gloves until we were at the game this weekend. So we've witnessed a white hat wearing a red hat, as well as Tyler wears the red hat, and now there's the orange gloves in Arizona. So, and they had fans in the front row that also were wearing the orange gloves that were trying to do all of the things that the red hat.
The red hat.
Distracting.
The red hat had a fan club. It was fantastic.
Wow.
So should we get red hats for you and have a little fan club out in the stands?
I'm not opposed.
Wow.
I like fans.
So since you guys were there and there's stuff on the table, which is also a rule, and we can unpack Tyler's world a little more, do you want to unfortunately go left on the table here? Right, if you're watching.
So this is Kevin Guy. Get to flick him in the head a couple times.
Did you get to flick him in the head at the game?
I did not. I did not. So in case you were wondering, we lost, and his fans, their fans, gave me some stuff to wear. They wanted to make sure we saw this again. And then made sure that I had a Kevin Guy bobblehead for my desk. So we lost. And Tyler and I were there along with the rest of the fam, which was pretty cool. But we just didn't play as well as I thought we were going to at all. It happened right at the get-go. I mean, I said, this is going to come down to whoever has the ball last, because it looked like it was going to be just trading possessions. And after we had 7, and then they had 21, and then we had 14, and then that was pretty much it. So,
yeah,
unless you got anything else to add, it wasn't exciting by any means.
No, it wasn't. We had our chances. There was the pick 6 that would have brought us within a 1-score game, and we ended up fumbling it right back to them in their end zone for a touchback, and that was kind of the turning point in the game. The wheels kind of fell off after that. But Arizona's a good football team. No shame losing to a good football team. Just hoping we can play like ourselves down the stretch.
Yeah, and we got a tough stretch ahead of us. I mean, it's not going to be easy. We're in the top 4 right now, and it's kind of shook out the way that we thought it would. It's Quad Cities, of course, Jacksonville, us, and Massachusetts coming in that 4th spot. So everybody did what they were supposed to help us, except for us. So that's really all we got. I mean, there's not much we can say. I'd like to talk about the fans a little bit, because they have some great fans. I got some pictures to show. We have, first and foremost, the family that got me the shirt and all the merch. Our friend Ashley. I brought Ashley her stuff, and it was so cool because I walked up and she's playing Uno with some other, I'm guessing those were family or friends that sit near them. So they were in an intense game of Uno, and I came and interrupted everything, gave her the Strictly ball, and unfortunately,
were they pretty excited to see you too?
It was.
That's
it was
awesome.
really cool. Yes, they were happy to see me. Everybody around them was like, "Who is this woman?" But I learned some really cool stuff, and I want to talk about it just a little bit. They, like I said, they gave me the merch, and yes, I am wearing my Arizona Rattlers shirt. It kind of stings a little bit, but a really nice material, but
It's
it
better
stings.
than stinks. But
Well, it
stings
doesn't
is
stink. No, it does not stink. Not yet, at least. Anyway, very nice people. And as a family, I mean, they've commented on the show, and they've been Rattler fans since '92. So I don't think they played until '93, but they have been fans since the inception. So they had an original Striker foam finger with them, which was really cool. They did say I couldn't have it, so there was that. But I gave the jersey to her. Unfortunately, the jersey didn't fit, but as you see in the pictures, her dog now has it, which I was like, that's fine by me. And he really loved it. He was rolling around in it, and it was really cool. But I also met a fan from Green Bay, and I met Hillary, and Hillary heads up.
Would have got her balls before that too. Yes.
Yes,
Okay,
and
cool.
she is the one that gets the balls, and she said that the Christmas ball was even better in person than it on the show. So shout out to you, Hillary, as well. But Hillary heads up their booster club. So here's something. They have a booster club that helps raise money for housing for the players in Arizona.
Really? Huh.
Kudos to the booster club. So Arizona Rattlers has a booster club. I think Green Bay needs to start a booster club. I'm just saying. All the money that they raise goes to the players, whether it's housing or food or things that the players might need. So they take care of getting, the bins that we used to have when the guys had apartments. They get the towels and the sheets and all of that for the players. So that's called community coming together.
Yeah.
For the players. So I thought that was really, really cool. And that was about it. So I got to mingle with some Arizona peeps, and I got to see the Parks family because they were in a suite as well. So they had come to town for that, and I got to hear a cannon go off like
many times.
Many
When
times.
they score, right?
Yeah, right at the beginning, and then when they score, and man, it's loud. I mean,
and you're never ready for it.
No.
Every single time it goes off, it just shocks you to your core every single time. You can prepare yourself for it, but you're still gonna jump.
Well, and here's the thing. So the first one, I was down in the stands, and I heard it just fine, but it fires from the rafters. So when you're up in the suite level, you're up just a little bit higher, and that decibel level just is so different. So it is loud. I had a few people that were traveling with us say, please don't get a cannon in Green Bay.
Yeah, I don't.
So we're okay. It's going to
Besides
stay.
firing a cannon, I don't get it.
Yeah.
Like it's usually a Buccaneers thing, but because it fits pirate ships. But yeah,
Just loud for the sake.
It's
of being
just loud.
Right.
It's just
yeah, that's
it's
what
the
I say, besides
pyrotechnics.
the noise. Yeah, yep.
It's the pyrotechnics.
Yep.
That's what it is. Because the even during the anthem, there were fireworks going off inside the arena.
That's cool.
It was really cool. It was really cool.
I will give props to their production team. They put on a very good show there.
Yeah.
Their broadcast is insane.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was. I watched none of the game, but when I saw a clip, they actually had two freaking different images up. It was awesome. Like game was still going on while interview was going on, and it was really good production. So
yeah, they got a great production team. There's no question, and they've won broadcast in the past. So some of that ability we just don't have in the Resh. But kudos to them, and they do a great job. They do a great job calling the game, everything. Other than us not being able to get into the arena and sweating because it was 110 trying to get in, and their poor staff. I mean, they had a changeover in crew that day, so it
was a whole thing.
It was a thing. It was a thing, but we got in, and life was good, and we moved on. And it was Stryker's birthday, so they had all the mascots of the past and around the area that were there. And we had gone to the WNBA Mercury game the night before, and the Mercury mascot was there as well.
Cool. Yeah.
So, and he's really good. So Bruiser, you got some competition out there because this guy's good, and we're going to give you some of his things that he does during a game and see if we can get it to happen in Green Bay. This is pretty cool. He did some great stuff. So I think that's all I really have about the game itself, right? I mean, there isn't really too much. I mean, some guys had some great plays. Don't get me wrong. We still played football. We were still there. We did have a stop or two.
Yep.
But all in all, we could have played better. We obviously did not win. We needed a win, but it wasn't conference play. So these next 2 games coming up are both conference play and very, very important. We traveled to Quad City.
3 of them.
Yeah, 3 of them. Sorry.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about the home game.
Yeah.
I was just going Quad Cities, Jacksonville, but we got one in between there. So, yeah, lots of stuff going on. Still, we're playing those last 3 games to shake out who's in second and third.
Yep.
That's for sure. No question. All right, let's get into Red Hat. Do you want me to clear the table for you?
Yes, you can do whatever.
Okay.
You need to do.
So let's talk about Red Hat. So you're that go-between. Ryan, do you ever have any conversation with the Red Hat or influence in the Red Hat?
I was on the headset with him for an entire half of the game here in regards to when there's a drum line or something where I affect his world. Yes. That's the only interaction I've ever had with that position is really if we're doing music or taking promo timeouts that the staff upstairs don't get then. But yeah, that's the only time I've ever had that headset on. So anytime a marching band's in, but more so when they're up in the corners playing like a collegiate band would. Actually, when I went to the state tournament at the Resch Center, because the West of Pier band was playing, they had the band director on that headset. So I'm not even sure I need to, but indoor football flow is a lot different than basketball flow.
Yeah.
So it probably needed to be me in that moment. But it was also really fun. I probably bothered him for the entire first half. Like everybody else trying to say things were like, what the heck? Don't ever give Ryan a headset again.
No, it was great. It was great because you were giving me props because you're like, I've never been in this world before. You're doing
I was
great.
literally
I
like,
was okay,
if you don't run a promo in the next X minutes, we're hosed.
Yep.
Like, it's not happening this quarter. So, yep.
It can be stressful at times, but no, it's good.
So this is a behind-the-scenes kind of show, and I don't think people realize that when you go to the game, there's this much that goes on behind the scenes, right?
Yeah.
I'm sure they think that who's ever up top is just watching the players, calling out a number or what have you here and there, and then a bunch of people run on the field when there's a timeout. But there's somebody actually coordinating that. He's like the little puppeteer that's moving everything. So you got the booth talking to you.
Yep.
The refs sometimes pay attention to you.
Most of the time, yes.
Yeah.
They're supposed to, whether or not they actually do all the time.
So they just know to look back in that corner.
Yeah, so it's just after every score, or sometimes change of possession depending on who the ref is. They're supposed to look back in the corner. Sometimes they'll point to me and wait for me to give a signal. And then that's how they know to stop the game or to just keep it moving.
And then July 18th, you'll have to have a fresh conversation because we don't have Mark or Jim. There's an entire crew coming in. Yeah. So, yep.
Oh, boy.
Yep.
Great.
Oh, boy. So everybody knows to look to you, and then the people behind you, because you're in our promo tunnel.
Yep.
They know you just kind of give them a signal to come out kind of thing, or
Yep.
you just look at Cass and...
So it's we have our game sheet. I check with Cass and Ben to make sure that our promo team is ready to go. Everything's ready. Make sure we have our contestants in the promo tunnel. Make sure that we're all good there. Once I have the go to go from them, I look out to the refs. If we have a score, I give them the signal. They stop the game, and then it's, hey, as soon as he calls that media timeout, we're going. You got 90 seconds to get off the field and go do your thing.
Awesome. And then you give a signal back up that they can restart production, or how does that all work?
So it's kind of two-way communication. So I have Joe up on the word I'm looking for.
Press row?
Press row. Yeah, thank you. I have Joe up on press row giving me signals because he has the 90-second timer up there for the commercials.
Oh, okay.
So the same signals that I'm giving to the refs on the field, Joe is giving to me from press row. So he gives me, we're in commercial, 30 seconds, 10 seconds, and we're rolling again.
All right. Awesome. So there's quite a bit that happens that people probably don't even realize is going on. So we said and I'm sure you were watching them because I didn't realize the orange gloves. Because even watching the NFL, who watches the orange gloves?
Well, I do now.
Now you do, but right, because it's part of what you do.
Yes.
So I see these orange gloves down in the front row, and you're telling me, and I'm like, is that where their orange hat is? And red hat. He's like, no, that's the fan club. And I'm like, oh my gosh, they all had the gloves on, and they were doing these all kinds.
Does it not get confusing for that ref group then, or no?
100%.
Okay, cool.
100%.
Yeah.
Right on.
Like, who do we watch?
But you can't tell a fan what to do.
No. Well, you can. I don't know that they'll listen.
Right.
But so they had orange gloves on, and it was a woman, wasn't it?
Yes,
yeah.
It was.
And she was down in what was their promo tunnel.
Yep.
So no red hat there either. Even though our rules does clearly state that it should be a red hat. Just saying.
Yeah, Fisher's had a white hat on.
Yeah.
So white hat, no orange gloves.
How many points did we lose by again on Saturday?
Too many.
Okay. That's a too many point penalty, Kevin. Just so you know, we need to amend the score here based on improper promo game day attire.
Amen. Amen. I mean, you got to respect the behind the scenes. I'm just saying. Just saying. It's in the rule book. All right. You mentioned something that I don't think people realize that everybody has, and that's a sheet that kind of breaks down each quarter. And I know, Ryan, for you, when you're putting all of these great things together with our playing partners, there are so many promos that have to happen each game, or at least once a game for whoever it might be. So you kind of lay that out. I'm sure that script is followed 100% all the time.
No, but it is the only thing that ever since Caitlin used to be around, I do the timelines, right? Because I'm accountable to the sponsors once the timeline's built, and usually with their input, right? Like when we have to go to a partner like Festival Foods and be like, do you mind it being the salute to service read instead of the cart toss? And like just something we'll talk to in the off season of selling a slot versus the actual promo, because you had shared some interesting stuff about Fishers where the entire promotions follow the theme night, which is a really cool concept. But yeah, we also don't want, what are the two examples? So Carbless and Hometown Hero, right? Because they're great community things, but they're not like fun things, right? They're two just Vetrano or Mark reading things. So like we try not to stack two reads or two tosses and not actually play a game during a break.
And they're important because it's the Hometown Hero and it's someone that's on the field.
Correct.
But you're right. If you're not paying attention, you're like, what are they talking about? And you're trying to find, where these people are on the field or what have you.
And they do a great job, and we know which ones also take a long time to execute on, where it used to be the huge bruiser head from Kids Dental and Baytech rolling out, or the beach ball, the ones that, or every time you see Quad Cities go to their first quarter break where a truck comes out, like there are certain ones you need to use a quarter break for versus a 90-second timeout. And technically that quarter break's the same time period, just people are used to that one bending the rules versus when you call one, it should really get out of the way and start the game again.
Yeah. And that always happens where we start right away.
Yeah.
We never have fans
started the game
lingering
late,
on the
repelled
field.
the game ball down on time, everything. It's
never had a child make sure it got its hot lap in.
Never got a donut stuck on the field. You name it. Never. We are the picture of perfection.
Absolutely.
So, Tyler, there's so much going on. Do you get to watch the game at all?
I do. I'm very lucky that I do get to stand, and I have a front row seat for the entire game.
You do.
I'll send you an invoice for that ticket.
Okay.
Do you ever get lost in the game where all of a sudden you're like somebody's all of a sudden in your ear? Tyler.
I usually tend to be pretty locked in for like the first half. If it gets down to like the early to mid fourth quarter and it's a close game, then I definitely get caught up in the game and I won't catch. Okay, I give the refs a lot of flack for not looking at me, but sometimes they'll be sitting there pointing at me for like 30 seconds and I'm not seeing it, and then Ben has to run over and give the signal. Yeah. So I do definitely find myself getting lost in the game sometimes.
And we've had some down to the last literal minute of the game, so I can understand how that happens. Absolutely. What's your biggest fear when you're down there?
Missing a promo.
Yeah.
It's happened a couple times this season where we've had, and part of it's on me where I don't want to run a promo on a change of possession where, like, if the Blizzard get a big interception, we don't want to stop that momentum. We want the offense to come out on the field with the crowd amped up and all that. We don't want to stop that. So I keep that game rolling at that point, and then it gets down to where we have 1 minute left in the quarter and we can't run a promo at that time. So I, for lack of a better term, shoot myself in the foot for the sake of the game looking and feeling better.
Sure.
But yeah, that's probably my biggest fear is just missing that promo. But the way that Ryan builds the game sheets, it always works out where we have an extra spot in the fourth quarter. So if we kind of need to move things around, we can.
Sure.
So we make it work.
And if we don't, we just toss stuff. But yeah, the fourth has some flexibility, and we try and keep the huge promos out of it in case we need to do something fast. So, yep.
Well, there's always room for the beach ball. I like that.
We do love the beach ball.
Modified beach ball has gone well this year, so yeah.
Why is it modified?
We three-point stance and only 5 yards to avoid some of the mega collisions.
There's still been some pretty good
collisions.
Yeah, I mean, fans will find a way, much like life finds a way in Jurassic Park. Fans will find a way.
Good reference, good reference.
Fans will find a way. To do some crazy stuff. So.
Yeah, well, I know that last home game we had, there was somebody that went flying off of it. I mean, I always worry about. I'm like, ooh, that initial.
Yeah.
Anyway,
they sign waivers. It's okay.
They do.
They do.
Yep.
They do. What else do you want to talk about? It's your moment.
You want to talk? It's your show. It's my moment, but it's your show.
Well, we're here to talk about game day. We're here to talk about behind the scenes because we lost to Arizona.
Unfortunately.
So there's another Rattler plug.
No, I think you do a good job.
Thank you.
I have a lot of respect for that position. Outside of football and not watching games when they're not at home. Like I don't know that piece of what we do, so it was cool to get stuck on the headset in the best way possible for that. It's also fun because I love music to be up there and firing those drum lines, but that's a piece of the gig that I don't mind doing on game day when we talk about me getting more freed up and enjoying that piece. That was cool. It was neat to see that, and it was also neat to do that with those 2 drum lines. We got asked by our players if we do that more often, and there's some stuff coming next year that we're very excited for to.
A very cool atmosphere. I love those drum lines.
It was neat, yeah. And I mean, those 2 were incredible. And that's not to say there aren't other high schools in the area, but they are. I mean, Pulaski marches the Rose Bowl parade every 2 years, so that would indicate how good they are. Selfishly, West Appear is quite good as well. So,
well, and the fans loved it too because it feels like football. It feels like football.
And a collegiate game day. And there's some stuff coming for next year.
Oh, that might be a little bit of a drop.
We got 3 left in a very important wrap up to the season, but we have some stuff cooking already that I'm very excited about.
Yeah.
So very excited about.
We will have, we're not going to share them because we don't want to give away the theme nights, but we're going to kind of do the unveiling like we did this year where we'll show you and then you have to guess what the theme night is. And that'll be coming probably September.
Yeah.
Right after, because we're already working on the theme nights and we're also already working on the designs for the balls because we have to have that in before October 1st. So
yeah, I do want to plug at the league level as we navigate some of the themes for next year. I've had some great conversations with people who are really busy in OT sports and Destroyer Rocks and even some of their contacts, and that group has been great to the league. So when it comes to jerseys or promo nights or licenses, this is filled with hints, this game, this episode. So those are great partners. So whether that was Todd or those partners coming to us, like I really enjoyed how engaged those 2 particular reps and Jeff and Kyle have been in making some of those things a reality. And shout out to Jacksonville, who we'll unfortunately see in their hostile environment, who does a lot of the same stuff we do and in some tie-dye stuff and some other cool. It was just really cool to see. It was really fun to watch that org do their thing.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, no, they do a good job. And they come off of, I mean, where they come from, you know, they were AFL.
Yeah.
In AFL teams, so they get it. They understand what it takes to get people in the stands. And to me, the themes and merch that circulates throughout the season helps. Yeah. I mean, the more you have that's geared towards your theme night, the better off you are. I think so. We're going to do more of that next year. It did well for us this year.
Yeah.
We'll have the staple items, and like Tyler's wearing the military night quarter zip that we had, which is a great representation. And it's a nice shirt.
And
That's
still
fantastic.
available because it wasn't, I mean, we're always transparent on here. That wasn't a cheap thing. That wasn't going to sell out like a blackout shirt and a hat did. I mean, it's a $70 Adidas pullover. But we kept getting asked for pullovers, so you can for sure still get that, even though we ran it for that game.
Right. And it is Adidas who is, we have a 3-year contract with Adidas on uniforms as well as coaches apparel. On the field has to be Adidas. So, ta-da! That was the military night one. Well, it was one of the military night ones. Yeah. But anyway, that's what I have, unless you have anything.
So we will not have an episode next week. So 4th of July, happy 4th. Be safe.
We have a bye.
When you're doing stuff with fire.
Works.
Yes. There will be, as we lead up, and I didn't bring the stocking today because I knew we'd have a table full. Starting on Sunday, there were literally 12 days of Christmas as we lead up to July 18th.
Are you going to sing a jingle?
I am not going to jingle.
Oh, maybe we should jingle.
But there's a lot of giveaways and sales coming starting Sunday as we lead up to the 18th. So
people should pay attention.
And Ben is going to do great that those will hit social media at the same time every day and have 24 hours for a sale and giveaway for 12 days. So
have to show off my rattler.
Yep.
Have it on.
Yes. So there's some great stuff in there. So Cass and Ben really helped me out there.
Chills down my spine.
Nice.
Ugh.
I didn't have to. I mean, I had the option to watch that. I didn't because I was busy, but I didn't have to witness what you guys witnessed. So, yeah, congrats to a team on that side of the planet there as Bay Area clinched. It is the first team in the IFL. So, yep.
So they're in.
Yep. They are for sure a force to be reckoned with this year.
Which is what it is.
Yep.
We knew that was coming.
Yep.
So.
I don't know the math on anything else happening because I would venture a guess if Quad City beats us, they're locked at the 1.
Oh,
based on
so,
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a very important game for us and them.
Yeah, and they handled Mass. So.
Yes, they did.
With a brand new quarterback who didn't see the field from what I read, but they have Tua's brother now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. We'll see. It's interesting how it's all going to shake out. You know, Kevin brought on his ringer quarterback.
Yeah.
Signed him back.
Was he even there?
He was there. He was
there
and suited up. He didn't play, but he was there.
Play. And, you know, sometimes that's just to add more pressure both to the current quarterback and the other team as to, is he going to come on the field? What's going to happen?
I remember Kevin's, and we tie a bow on it here, first or second season in the league where Riggs played those games with him, where Riggs signed the IFL legend at quarterback from Sioux Falls, and was suited up. At that game, never took the field because Lorenzo played out of his mind, but it was signed IFL Hall of Famer out of retirement.
It's just a psych.
Yep.
But it works.
Yep.
It worked. For Lorenzo, it worked.
Yes.
So we'll see. There's a lot of, that's a whole different behind the scenes, right? And those guys will never talk about it because they don't want anybody to know what their game is behind the scenes. So
I have a meeting with BJ Hill today, but it is not related to that. So you can stop your comments right now.
He's not coming back.
Got me excited there for a second.
Yeah.
He just has some questions regarding the high school that he is awesomely the head coach of now. So
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And he works for our former coach as the athletic director.
That's Matt, Chris, and BJ all there. It's pretty awesome.
So it's like a little Blizzard world.
Yep.
They should be bringing in more people to our games then.
Well, when he asks for his lesson on sponsorship stuff, because I think it's related to that, I'll flip it on him.
There you
BJ,
go.
You'll not know about this in time to adjust. But
so there's that. Yep. All right. What else do we want to talk about behind the scenes? Do you have any questions for us?
That's a great question.
What do you guys, when you guys are going to a sponsor, what do you guys pitch to them? So is it like, you kind of said it kind of goes back and forth when we're putting together our promo games. When we have something like the Festival Foods cart toss, is it a matter of, do you go to festival with like, hey, we want to do a cart toss? Or is it like, festival coming to you and they say, hey, we want to do a promo, and you're like, okay, we have an idea, we'll do the cart toss?
Most of that is led by us. Because we'll usually come up with the theme or the thing, right? Like it wasn't Quick Trip's a great example. It wasn't Quick Trip that came up with Muffin Mayhem, and it actually took that crazy of an idea to get what was 6 years of conversations with Quick Trip finally where they're in the door. I don't know if it's backwards in sales world because all I've done my entire life is sell, but like we build the thing and then we look for the right partner, right? And then we go learn about them. It's very relevant as Kathy and I are talking through some of the math and some of the stuff on the 2026 themes is just you go listen to their story first and have a good idea. But I also don't come in with here's the cookie cutter, it's this, and this, because if you don't listen to them, they're probably in at no dollars, let alone high dollars, right? Or it has to be important to them and match. Like the carts are on brand for festival. The muffin toss is just a unique thing because Quick Trip has their name everywhere else. So their name on stuff wasn't as important as something fans would remember in that case. So it's just it's about as vague as it gets, but it's a case by case. Learn what's important to the partner and what makes us unique. As I think we come up with the thing, whether that's the theme night, the ball, the jersey, themed merch, and stuff like that, and then find the right partners. It also stops a lot of the sitting in the phone book and calling down A to Z every business in the area here. It eliminates some of the ones that won't bear any fruit because once you know the thing and probably know let's say it was a grocery themed promo and knew the big 5 players in the area here, you would know the 5 to go talk to instead of calling Johnny's roadside grocer who probably outside of paying you 12 payments a year just has no business sponsoring us, and I mean that politely, just it's not in the budget. So
well, it doesn't work for them.
Correct.
Because why would they do that? They're more worried about getting people
they're
in
never
the door.
going to outspend one of the big 5 either. So
And I think it's important that we do have something that works for that sponsor because otherwise they'll be one and done. So we have to do something that can be a theme that fits them, and the muffins do fit them. I mean, whenever you go to Quick Trip, you got the muffins, the donuts. I mean, you got all kinds of stuff. We just couldn't have it be donuts because we already had Dunkin'.
Yeah, I had a great recap with them, and again, he loved it, but again, it took that thing, right? And it also took a personal conversation. I looked back at the threads when I met Nathan, who I introduced to Kathy at the first game. To his credit, he actually came out. I was basically flying blind until I met him with proposals just getting sent to somebody I'd never met. So, yeah. That's actually a huge shout out to the Rockers who actually connected me to him too. So.
Yeah, and I think it's important that anytime you're doing sales, and I know we have some other operational people within the league that watch this, it can't just be cold call. Here's a deck of what we are and who we are in the IFL and the number of people in our seats. That doesn't mean much if you don't have something to connect them to it. Yeah. So it's really important to go beyond the sales deck, and it is a personal conversation on what it is that they're looking to do because you're usually meeting with a marketing person. And you're trying to, whether it's clicks, likes, exposure, it really all depends.
Yeah, I actually have used the deck more frequent with new teams in our league than I've ever used with a partner, right? Like if you and Kathy own separate businesses, your dashboard will be valued at the same thing, but it may adjust if Kathy's spending $15,000 and you're only buying a board, right? And that's no different than a car purchase if you purchase something with all the bells and whistles and extended warranty and, right? Like if you spend more, there's more value. But like if you were both to outright buy a board, it's the same thing, right? And that's the only time if I blindly take someone reaching out on what do sponsorships cost with the Blizzard, you try to flip that conversation and meet with someone. But eventually, if you don't get that personal meeting, I ship the deck in hopes that they'll call me back. And the photos are way more important in the story it tells than the price in there. But I send it and be like, I'd love to meet because this is all customizable, not just buy a board and hope you sell homes if you're a realtor. It's way more complicated in a good way than that. So, yeah.
Good question.
Great question.
Thank you.
What else you got?
Is there, I think this is the last question I have.
Good.
Is there, without spoiling our theme nights and stuff for next year, are there any new fun promos in the works that I can look forward to calling next year?
Timeout promos?
Yes.
Yes.
Probably just based on where renewals are, or just even current partners and letting us shift that.
Yeah, they aren't going to want to keep the same thing.
No, yeah, there's probably some that actually been around that need a refresh, and even you've been part of both new coming in, and then when we evolved Proscape and Pool Works to fit together, because they're both things that are in your backyard. So and we look at things like the splash zone, which are on brand from the Pool Works, and it's named a section, and we learned not to throw beach balls. Again, fans will find a way. Beach balls were harmless until fans found a way, right? And that's the visual I wanted, with beach balls bouncing around in the south end zone. But this is why we can't have nice things, Blizzard fans.
But said nice beach balls in the south end zone ended up on the south end zone field or midfield. They came bouncing all the way over by me, and I'm like, wait a minute, how did this get over here?
It's great until I have to send an intern on the field to go grab a beach ball.
There's a good mix that I'm thrilled with, and there's, again, probably one of my favorite things besides the people I work for is just getting to be creative with other people's brands. So there are people that absolutely, whether they love it or hate it, appreciate the conversation everywhere, where, like, have you thought about doing this, and can I do this, and is it okay in your brand? And that's the fun stuff, all while trying to entertain, right? Because regardless of the outcome on the game, which none of us can affect, right? We can affect what that fan experience from the time the doors open until the time we run the fifth quarter, right? And that's every promo, every cam, which is a cam 4. They're trying to do a cam, whether that's dance, kiss, smile, right? We try and run simple ones that the booth can execute on without us calling a timeout. Those are all assets we partner with folks on too. So, but that's fun, right? Trying to design that door open to door close experience for the fan, knowing that we can't control the 90 minutes in between. So
yeah, they had a cool one called the Flex Cam.
Yeah,
that was sponsored by a gym.
Nice.
Or some sort of trainer situation, so everybody was flexing.
Really cool. Yep,
it was actually really cute.
Yeah.
There's some good guns out there, I can tell you. And I guess even if you had like a firearms, you could call it the guns. Get your guns out.
Yep.
Fire up the guns.
There you go. Write that one down.
Nice.
Anyway, all good stuff. Well, thanks for coming on the show, giving us a little bit of what it is that you do on game day. We appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
You bet. And I don't really have anything else. Are you going to go see Jurassic?
In Wausau.
Yeah.
Yep.
I might come and join you then.
I'm out tomorrow. That's so fun when we talk about it on camera, because of when this airs. I'm out yesterday, Blizzard Nation. Figure that one out.
I'm out today. Yeah.
Get a DeLorean, and we'll see you yesterday.
See you back in time. So, yeah, I do plan to see it before we're back here.
Yeah, and we're not invited, Blizzard Nation, sorry, but we'll have a private screening for the guys of Superman that I know a date for now, too. But go see those. Like, support our friends at Marcus. We are in the thick of their busiest time. So
yes.
We got Fantastic Four coming out.
Yeah, that was the other one in July.
Yeah, F1.
It's a great time to be a movie fan.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Take out 6 months, no interest. Go hang out at Marcus. Buy a lot of popcorn and buy tickets.
They got that new program, or that new club that you can join, where
it's like a rewards thing.
It's $15 a month, and then you get discounts on tickets.
Oh, that's awesome.
So it's a pretty cool program, I have to say.
Yeah, it is a great time to be a movie fan. So
yeah, it's like we're back, back in the swing.
Yep.
Awesome. All right. Now comes what you have to do in the center. I mean,
you got to call it.
I was say, do I have to be like Joe like this?
You do it however you would like. You just have to get the timing. Yeah, you're calling it. We'll just go by what you do.
Yeah.
Just flick Kevin again.
Nice. Yeah. He says it's time.
He says it's
time. Should we hit him with it?
Oh, let's hit him with it.
Go Blizz.
Don't forget to like, follow,
subscribe,
share,
and ring that notification bell to get all of our content in your inbox.